Hi everyone. Today I'm going to talk about the film Larceny, which was produced in the United States in 1948. The plot is about a conman, a kind of criminal, a shade guy, and he was together with a sort of gang, and the gang targets this guy to prey on a young woman who was the widow of a World War II hero, and seduce her so he could get some money from her. This woman, her family had political connections, and this guy, who belonged to the gang, he was sent to seduce this woman. However, this same guy was about to seduce the woman. He was having on the side an affair with the girlfriend of the boss of the gang. And this is an important detail to the story. And by the way, the girlfriend of the boss of the gang was played by a very young Shelley Winters. And he was having an affair with this girlfriend, and at the same time the boss of the gang, he was a bit suspicious that this guy was having an affair with his girlfriend. But anyway, he sent this gang member to seduce the other rich woman, and he did so. This guy met the rich woman. He pretended that he was a friend of her late husband. So he pretended he was a close friend of her late husband. She believed it. Her family believed it, even though this guy, he has never met her husband before, but he played along. And of course, it was a young woman. She had been widowed for 3 years, lonely, sad, and she immediately fell for the scammer, unfortunately. And he in a kind of unpretentious way, he mentioned that her late husband had told him that he would like to build a kind of youth center to help children and youths who were in poverty. And this widowed woman, she found a wonderful idea, and this scammer, he even suggested her that instead of only constructing a youth center, that they should construct a war memorial as a homage to her late husband. And she was very enthusiastic about the idea. And everything was going very well, except for the fact that the girlfriend of the boss of the gang, she went to the city where the gang member was living, and she decided to stay there and to have a relationship with him there. She said that she would leave the boss and would remain with him. But he was in the middle of the scam to take money out of that other woman. So he couldn't stay together with the former boyfriend of his boss. It would bring him problems. But she was adamant. She didn't want to give up. And okay, he was having this kind of double life, seducing the woman, and she was very enthusiastic about the memorial, and they even bought a very nice mansion to build this war memorial there. She gave him a check of $100,000. Everything seemed all right, but then the girlfriend of the boss of the gang, she appeared again, and the young widow who was being seduced, She saw that and started to be suspicious of his boyfriend. So, what was the idea of the scammer? He told the woman, the widow woman, that the other woman was actually the lover of her former husband, not his own lover. And she believed that, and even felt relieved because now she could fall in love. She had no idea that this new guy was a scammer. She could fall in love without any feeling of guilt. The scammer, he felt really touched by that, and he fell in love with the young widow, really. And he wanted to marry her. Of course, that the other gang members didn't like that. The boss of the gang was even more pissed off because his girlfriend had disappeared. And of course that he was a bit distrustful if the other member of the gang was involved. And then, in a certain day, the scammer, he told the former girlfriend of the boss of the gang that he would leave her because he wanted to get married with the young widow. And of course, that the girlfriend of the boss of the gang, she didn't accept that. She had a gun. She threatened to shoot. But then the young widow arrived at the scene, and it was a very violent situation. And the girlfriend of the boss of the gang, she ended up being mortally wounded. So she was shot and died immediately. Then, in the middle of the mess, it arrived the father of the young widow, who was a politician, and the other members of the gang, pretending that they were detectives and trying to blackmail the father of the young widow, because it was a wealthy family, and the entire gang wanted to take money out of the guy. And then, when the film was about to be over, the scammer, who was seduced the young widow, he regretted his actions, and he decided to tell everyone, including the police, the real policemen who arrived at the scene, that they were all criminals, that they wanted to take money out of the young widow, and that they were scammers, criminals, and he told all the truth. And then he is arrested together with the other members of the gang, and he comforts the young widow in the end, saying that a relationship between them both would never work, that she should forget that she ever knew him and move on with her life. And then the criminals, they were brought to justice. It's a nice film. It's a noir film, and it has plenty of action, and the plot is never boring. It doesn't have unnecessary details. The pace of the film is very fluid, and it's a film I recommend to everyone. And the acting of all actors is very convincing, and I know you're going to like that. That's all for now, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. See you!